Okay, so a couple things I'm going to talk about for episode 4 before we get started here. First of all, I said there's going to be a big surprise, a grand reveal, and we were going to try to get it in the last episode, but as you will shortly see, there were some weather issues, weather delay. We'll blame it on that. But we'll get it going now, kick off episode 4. I think episode 4 is going to be pretty exciting for the 5 people that this is made for. Also, the big grand reveal surprise is only probably going to be excited for the 5 people that we're making this for. They should be excited, but everybody else, all the people out there on the interwebs, they're probably going to be like, meh. Like that villain from Despicable Me when he's trying to impress his mom as a little kid. He did all these incredible things and made a rocket ship in the backyard, and she was just like, meh. So that's what the interwebs are going to say about this. But the 5 people that I'm actually making this for to track the progress of the old Blackie rebuild, they should be excited. So, without further ado, follow me. Walk that way. Ah, beer cans. So, I got thinking, parts are pretty cheap for this, but the amount of parts that we need are not cheap. So I thought, maybe I'll just get a parts truck that I can pull parts off of and use that to put onto here. So I started looking on the interwebs, and I found this close by, Kansas City. So let's take a look. It's 1950. Pretty sure it's a 3600. A lot better shape, actually, than old Blackie, so I'm kind of in a dilemma. Do I really want to pull parts off a truck? Do I really want to pull parts off a truck that's in better shape and put it on something that's in worse shape? But anyway, we're here to fix up old Blackie, so let's walk around. First we'll look at the outside, so come this way. As you can see, the doors and windows, besides this glass right here, which I can swap that out, a lot better shape. The door handles actually work. You're going to have to come around this side. The door handles actually work. The other door works. The transmission and the clutch inside all appear to be good. There's actually an ignition with the key, although I bought a new one. Everything else here is complete. It's got, scoot back, it's got a, keep filming, well, this way, not that way. It's got this bed, which I like. This is the original style bed that when they did the flatbed trucks back in the day, this is how they were made. Most of this wood is pretty rotten up, but I like the metal bracket system, so I thought about maybe trying to get this cleaned up and reused, if I can. Or maybe I'll just build a new one, kind of like the way that the old style old Blackie one was. But you can see it has tail lights, has everything on it to be street legal. Coming around, actually has a rear bumper. If you look down under here, you see these rear springs. They're a little bit different, so I think this is either the 3/4 ton or the 1 ton. I'm pretty sure old Blackie is a 3100, which would be the 1/2 ton. So we come up this way. If you look right here, this is actually a 3600. So that's a 3/4 ton. A 3800 would be a 1 ton. So I'm pretty sure old Blackie is the 3100, 1/2 ton. So again, everything's good inside here. Coming around, looking at the engine compartment, it has these lights here, which I like. It does not have the lights up top, but that's okay. Old Blackie didn't either. Old Blackie used to, actually. It's got the holes drilled for them. But if we look, engines here, engine's all intact. There's a horn. Everything in here should be good if I need parts. So that's the plan, and that's the big reveal. I'm going to show you something cool here. If you zoom in on this, 1985 was the last time that this was registered. And if you come over here and look at this, that also corresponds with the inspection sticker. And does actually have a title for this, have a VIN. This truck could be all street legal if we decide to do that. So, film or you're not filming?
Well, I was looking at Kai.
Okay, so that's it, and Cut. So today is Thanksgiving Day, and I'm only allowed to come out here for a short amount of time. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and drain and change the oil and filter so that I'm not cranking on this thing with 40-year-old oil in there. I'm also going to put the radiator back on and hook that up, and then the valve train cover. I'm going to put that back on. I got a new gasket for it. And then we're going to try that and see if the compression improves, because the compression was around 30 last time I tested it, which is not even close to what it needs to start. So I do all those things. Hopefully the compression will come up enough to where I can get it started, and then we will go from there. So that's the plan for today. I'll come back when I start getting some of that stuff put together. First thing I need to do is drill out the bolts I broke off when I was taking the radiator off. So I'm going to start by doing that. I can't do it while I'm holding the camera. All right, let's see what this looks like. Maybe not. Nope. Stubborn old bastard. He got comfortable there after all these years. There we go. All right, let that drain. Okay, while I'm waiting for the oil to drain, you can see it down there, I got the new valve cover gasket on. So I am reinstalling that. Boom. There it is. Okay, I mentioned I am not a mechanic, so I went to O'Reilly's and bought a oil filter for this. And I was trying to figure out where in the heck it goes, because there's no oil filter location underneath. Could not find one, so I got out on the interwebs, on the YouTubes. And it looks like if this thing had an oil filter, it would be in this region right here. But it does not. I do not see one. So, apparently this truck does not have a oil filter. So, I guess they don't make them like they used to. Maybe it doesn't need one. I don't know. Here goes. I'm gonna stick about $100 worth of fluids into this thing and see how she does. Then we'll go from there. I got the radiator back in. Got the oil all drained out. And a new seal on this valve cover. So get all this put back together and we'll be just about ready to try to crank it. All right, got the oil filled up. Now I'm adding some antifreeze and watching very carefully for leaks while I do it, so I'm gonna have to stop recording. Okay, so here's where I'm at. This is what I've done so far today. I changed the oil, put all brand new oil in, synthetic oil. Put the radiator back in and filled the radiator with 50/50 antifreeze. And then since I already took the generator off, I went ahead and stuck the alternator on just so I could stick the belt back on. Ignore that belt, it's wrong size. So I'm gonna have to get another belt, but I got that one on there for now. Hopefully it doesn't sling off and knock my teeth out. But we are ready to go. I got, the good news is the fuel pump works. So every time I crank it over, it spits fuel out. That's the bad news. So I got a gas can set up there so that it can spit that old bad gas out. I got my starting fluid here, and I got my little squeegee bottle of gasoline here. and I'm ready to try to start this thing. Hopefully the compression will be better now that it's got good oil and everything put back together, but we'll see. But to start it, I need to get my Helperton out here, because he's going to be the one inside pushing the pedal while I'm working on the carburetor there. So that's the plan. Next step will be to try to start it. Go. All right, go ahead. It ran for a minute, but that didn't sound good. Did you stop pushing?
Yeah. No, after it.
When it starts, you got to stop pushing. Something popped.
It would clunk.
Okay, here.
Started smoking too.
Okay, go ahead and push it. Push it.
It's just
Push it. Nothing's happening.
Killed it.
Okay, let off it.
The engine was smoking for a second after that. Action.
Okay, now that we know old Blackie runs, I just wanted to show this real quick. So this is old Blackie's original starter, and it quit on us. It cranked it over a few times, and then it just quit. Pretty sure it's the electrical mechanism here. Something was shorting out in that. Fortunately, we have a parts truck. I pulled the starter off the parts truck, and that starter works just fine. Did you? Okay. I say we got it. Look at all this stuff that's been getting blasted out of that tailpipe after trying to start it. That's probably not good. Probably a rat's nest or something like that in there too. May need to drop that off before I try starting it again. So to come around here, I'm going to show you a couple things. So the plan going forward is, now that we know this runs, I am going to go ahead and hook up. I'm going to take the fuel tank out. So come over here. I'm going to take the fuel tank out. Right there. And I'm going to flush and drain and clean it all out and probably get new hose connectors right there. I'm going to stick that back in, and I got all new fuel lines that I'm going to run all the way up. I got a new fuel filter and everything new fuel lines, the new style fuel lines, so not the old crispy, crunchy metal types that are rusted out and have holes in them. So I'm going to run all that up, get clean gas going to that, and then I'm going to start this up and we'll get it started so that it'll just sit there and idle now that we know that it runs. All right, a couple other things. So the next step after we get that done, then I got to start going to work on the body and on the transmission and clutch and the brakes. So those will be the big main things that we have left to do in order to get this thing back working to a farm truck. Part of the body is going to be to lift it up on this side where it's settled down and get the cab leveled back out. So if you come back around here, I'll show you what we're looking at on that. Right here, if you can dig in here and see how it's sitting down on the cab right there. But if you go over to this side, there's an inch or so gap there, 3/4 of an inch. and it's sitting there. So I'm just going to have to raise this up and then probably slide some kind of shim underneath there to get that to work. Another thing, we pointed out in episode number 1 that there was ankle vents down here. We can look at that real quick. See the ankle vents? I got something to take care of that. Brand new floor pan right there. Then I'm going to cut the old stuff out, put that in. Also got brand new kick panels for the sides. The other one's in the house. I need to bring it out here. But brand new kick panels. So that should get rid of all the ankle vent issues. And that's what we're going to do going forward until next episode. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in week number 5.